Yeah, I always wondered about. I'm sure I'm not like I'm sure many people have asked that question before, but it's like, yeah, if you come in a chick in the holodeck, where does the cum go?
I'll ask Riker. If anybody knows.
I've
Oh, you mean
always-
like a hologram? If you come in a holographic chick?
Yeah, like because obviously you're gonna raw dog it, right? She's a hologram,
Yeah, no.
so you're gonna raw
Not if
dog
it's
it.
a hologram, just to be safe.
Fair enough.
You want to be safe.
But you're gonna raw dog these holographic, right? So let's say you just get a good nut in there, and then somebody's like, "All right, Geordie, power down the holodeck." Like, where does the cum go?
I mean, I'm assuming somebody like one of those lower people or have an intern like have to go in there and mop it.
An ensign.
An ensign's in there, like fucking Wesley's in there mopping cum.
You have two jobs here on the ship as a red shirt. You can either go with the away team, or you can clean up cum on the holodeck. You think about it, right? If you're a red shirt in Star Trek, you take the cum sweeping job, right? Your choices are you got a red shirt on, two choices: away team, or you get to clean up the cum on the holodeck.
I'm cleaning up the cum.
Yeah,
because I want to
go
live
back alive. Yeah, you're like,
yeah,
cum's
I mean,
fine.
it's a terrible job, but it's fucking magic getting murdered. But the other thing is, like, I love all that's one of the other things with Star Trek, like the unrealistic things. And it's like all these like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on the holodeck and pretend I'm Robin Hood, or I'm gonna go play Sherlock Holmes. 99% of holodeck stuff is fucking, which makes you wonder. Why do you need a pleasure planet? Why do you need Ryza for anyway? It seems like a waste. You could just fuck a chick.
Yeah.
And not only that, like they probably do some dark shit because which also then you start thinking about eventually holograms become like sentient, like with the Doctor, like in Voyager, for example. It's like, hey, these holograms like have feelings and shit. So have they just been and murdering people? Like there's a lot of complexities to the holodeck
I think
stuff.
because the holodeck would be considered, for instance, like prostitution, right? Like if you go to a hooker,
But they have no choice. They're programmed to do it. More like sex slaves, really.
but what I'm saying is you go to the holodeck, right? And it's the same like when you go to a prostitute, you're just trying to get a nut in because it's been a while or whatever. So you pay a hooker. But you're not patting yourself on the back. There's no like, yeah, I got laid. Like nobody says that. Nobody says I got laid if you get a hooker. So maybe the holodeck is that mental equivalent of like, all right, well I'm just fucking a hologram. But if you go to Ryza 7 or whatever, Ryza or whatever the fucking planet is, you get your dick sucked by a real chick, and even though
I don't think you earned it though, but again, they're pretty much Rise as a planet of prostitutes.
But I think it's presented differently, right?
Yeah, it is. It's presented nice. It's
like when you get
upper end prostitutes.
Yeah, it's like when you go to a really nice hotel, like a really nice one, like a country club type hotel, and they don't take any cash from you. Everything you just sign for, and it's very like, and they just bring you things.
Right,
and it's like,
yeah.
It's presented a different way. Like, you're still paying for that shit, right? But nobody brings up the bill at a country club. Nobody's ever like, sir, your tab for dinner earlier. Because it's like, you're a member. They're going to get the money from you. It's all worked out. So you can walk around just take an hors d'oeuvre and a champagne and take things from people. And they go, I just charge the room. So I'm thinking that's probably the pleasure planet's more like you can feel like you're just in the thick of it, unless of course you're Picard, which all these want to fuck Picard.
You made me think of something because you said who cleans up the cum? Can't you just transport the cum into space?
That's true.
You just you don't need to clean.
Holodeck to engineering.
Every time, if you follow the Enterprise, it's just a trail of cum.
Who's that Irish guy?
Oh, Chief O'Brien.
That poor guy. Has
Chief
to
O'Brien,
Chief O'Brien's in charge of teleporting all of the ships cum out into. But then what if you?
So much space cum.
Yeah, because then it's sort of like why people always ask, why don't we just put all our garbage in space? Because there's already a lot of space debris.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, you can't get through the dome.
The dome as well, and the Van Allen belts.
Mm-hmm.
But they tell you like there's already so much junk in space from mistakes we've made that like they're putting the space station at risk. They put other shuttles at risk. You hit a piece of space debris and you're done. So we can't keep dumping garbage out into space. Maybe the cum is the same thing. Maybe it's impossible. Because imagine like you're flying through space and your spaceship hits cum, and it gets all over the sensors and all the the whatever the. Is it a windshield? Do they have windshields on the bridge? Whatever it is, and then
a view screen.
Yeah, and then try getting that off. You got to try to get it off right away, or it's gonna fucking smear and.
Also, Prime Directive comes into play. So, like, what if the cum lands on a planet and you make your own creatures? You start evolution because of your cum.
That's true. You see, you can't risk
You
that.
can't.
It really fucks with the Prime Directive. So
I think what we're talking about, honestly, is the most important thing going on in this country right now. So
did they just get rid of? I think they keep the cum on the ship in the little biohazard bags, like the hospital, and then when they go to like a space station. So like Deep Space Nine, they probably drop a lot of cum.
The problem with that is George Takei was also always sneaking in there with a Capri Sun straw. Yes. Because he was a homosexual and he likes cum.
I sure wish Anthony Rapp had done that with my cum. But these new school actors just don't have any appreciation for the craft. The craft of cocksucking, of course. I'm not talking about acting. I don't do that anymore.
He still does. He still does the former, though.
I'm a YouTube creator. My name is Kevin Spacey, and if you don't give me my plaque, Susan, I'm gonna rip every boy on this platform.
Like and subscribe.
I'll fuck Shane Dawson in his ass right on the front page of YouTube if I don't get my plaque.
Well, that's not a threat for anybody. Everyone in that situation would like it. Who would not like it?
No, even Shane Dawson would be like, I'm scared of Mr. Spacey. Get your ass on that bed, boy. I'm going to fuck you like you did to that cat.
Can you imagine Kevin Spacey just becoming a daily YouTuber? You know, a lot of people have been asking me.
That's so true. That's right, folks. Make sure you get your Patriot food buckets. Promo code Spacey. No, promo code Underwood. He would just use Frank Underwood's name.
Take it.
I was executive producer on that show. I dare them to sue me.
Oh,
Could you imagine, like, he keeps doing those little bits? Can you imagine if they sued him? Because it's like, I get it, you know, obviously legally there's reasons why you can't just use that character, but like that was Spacey's show. Like I understand,
of course it's his show,
whatever. And they should have fired him. Like they didn't fire people who seem to misunderstand that Kevin Spacey got fired for all the allegations against him. Kevin Spacey was already under investigation for like very actively, like allegedly, like sex groping and like
people
sex being predatory on
set.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like production assistants and key grips, they were already looking into Spacey.
Well, don't name him Key Grips then.
That's true. They should have given
You're
him another
asking
title.
for it. Yeah.
And also, let's talk about the title of Best Boy. I thought it had entirely different connotations to it. But like, yeah, he got fired because they already had this like thick, open, active case file on him within the company. And then this happened and they were like, we got to fire Spacey. But he should be allowed to portray that character forever because there is no House of Cards without Kevin Spacey. Yeah. That was his baby. They should have let him finish. They should have just like warned everybody, like, look, you don't have to work here, but you're probably going to get by Spacey. Then
How many times do I get it? But do I get to be on House of Cards?
But yeah, but that's the point, right? Then you can make an informed decision,
right?
And then if you decide to still go in and work with Spacey, then it's like, all right, you sign a waiver, and they go, look, we told him he's probably going to get, but he really wanted to work with Spacey,
like the Santa Claus, but for like Spacey.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
That's pretty much the dynamics of Hollywood. The way dynamics of Hollywood have always been, where you just go, look, like it's Marlon Brando. I know he that bitch on Last Tango in Paris, but like it's Marlon Brando, like, you know what I mean?
Joe says without Spacey that show collapsed like Building 7. That's not true. There was a reason the show collapsed.
Yeah, that show collapsed like some kind of house of I don't know, like something that wasn't structured, something that maybe doesn't have the right support system in place to hold up the structure. Some kind of house made of things that are flimsy.
Right.
I love that the fact that the show is called House of Cards, and your analogy was, man, when Spacey got out of that show collapsed like Building 7. Yeah, or I don't know, a House of Cards.
All right.
I mean, we titled it House of Cards. How did they not see it coming?
Lord Pepsi, excuse me, holodeck replicators energy into matter. It's not a holographic device. Don't be a fucking nerd. Come on, man. We're already nerds enough.
Captain to engineering. We're gonna need 4 ensigns to clean up the holodeck. Kevin Spacey has been in here all day, and the holodeck is simply caked with cum. It looks like the inside of a cave formation.